Crunch being faced by the government. It has been a year since Ukur Yatani assumed office as Kenya's substantive National Treasury Cabinet Secretary. It has been 12 months of tax laws, amendment laws in early 2020 to the debt relief now being sought by the government. And Ukur Yatani's first full year has been really eventful. Now, Julian Mboko now does a stock take of the last 1 year and looks at Yatani's entry in the second year.
Ukur Yatani's first full year as Kenya's National Treasury Cabinet Secretary has been dominated by firefighting the COVID-19 crisis. Kenya's first patient was identified on March 13, 2020, just 2 months after Yatani's confirmation. The former one-term governor says it was a day that forever changed the course of his leadership at the ministry.
You know, in the past, when the problem was in China and there was some talk about it, not many people took a lot of interest in it. And if it happened, they thought this is a foreign kind of, challenge that we never thought it was going to come to Kenya and that early. As soon as it came here, the same day, we started having not only the health indicators that are going wrong, but also the economic indicators.
Unlike his predecessors, whose main focus upon assuming office has traditionally been the June budget, Yatani's entry was the first Tax Laws Amendment Act of 2020, through which COVID-19 relief measures were adopted, including a waiver of income tax on any persons earning 24,000 shillings and below. CS Yatani has stewarded the fiscal stimulus package adopted under the COVID-19 relief, which currently stands at 94 billion shillings, divided into 2 tranches, an initial 40.9 billion shillings chunk and another 53 billion. The CS says a key score has been the scaling up of cash transfers.
The number of the traditional cash transfer moved from about 200,000 to 1.3 million families, where they're getting 2,000 shillings at the end of every month. And these are basically the elderly, the severely disabled and orphan families.
Yatani's maiden budget on June 13, 2020 was not just big in size, but also on promises. The CS pledged to rein in the pending bills burden that has been weighing heavily on the country, even putting out conscience-breaking appeals even before he was confirmed as CS.
Any sensible leader, any sensible manager, when you have asked somebody to paint your house, when you have asked somebody to provide you with food, and you fail to pay, what happens? Meaning you are crushing the aspiration jobs and the livelihood of that person. People are occupying those offices courtesy of the public. If you are now robbing the public by taking away the things they're refusing to pay, sometimes for over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or even more, then government has a moral duty and obligation to step in.
Months later, many bills remain unsettled, lives and livelihoods thrown off balance as contractors continue to decry delayed payment by the government.
Going forward, the National Treasury may withhold exchequer releases to the MDS or SAGAs with pending bills until an approved payment plan for all pending bills is agreed upon.
The former district officer has also had to eat the humble pie on behalf of the government as far as flip-flopping on whether Kenya will take up debt relief is concerned. What started in early 2020 as a refusal to take up debt relief packages has ended up in a U-turn as the country faces significant strain on its resource envelope amid the government's effort to put up a brave face amid echoes in the Treasury's coffers.
For our own situation, we are not very certain yet whether we are going to go for it, because the accompanying conditions are a bit tough.
This stance quickly changed as the country's tax revenue fell below target, and it was clear that the government needed breathing space to fund its spending plan. As CS Ukur Yatani now embarks on his second year at the Treasury, Kenya's vulnerability to debt distress is almost guaranteed to dominate policy formulation. Julian Mboko, NTV.